بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. We were discussing yesterday a lengthy hadith. Everything is on there. We were discussing a lengthy hadith yesterday on shafa'at. We were discussing a lengthy hadith. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There was a lengthy hadith yesterday. We were discussing on shafa'at, when Nabi sallallahu on the day of Qiyamah, when people will become restless and they will be waiting for the intercession to start. They will be waiting for the intercession to start. And obviously, when you're waiting for something, normally you feel restless, you feel anxious, you would like to know what your fate is. So they will go to the different Anbiya, alayhimus salatu wa taslim, and they will request for them to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start the intercession. And they will go to the different Anbiya, alayhimus salatu wa taslim, and they will request from them, and each one will excuse himself and say, look here, I have my own problems that I need to contend with. I, at this point in time, you. So during the course of the discussion, another important discussion came up, and that was Ismatul Anbiya. Ismatul Anbiya means that we, the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we believe that the Anbiya are divinely protected from mistakes. Before Nubuwwat and after Nubuwwat, they protected from shirk. Before Nubuwwat, they are protected. Some ulama, some of say they are protected from big and small. Some ulama said that before Nubuwwat, they could um, engage in small mistakes, what you term as saghayr, which we discussed several times. But with regards to after Nubuwwat, there's unanimity amongst the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah that the prophets do not commit big mistakes, right? So this is a detailed discussion. You will find it in the books of Aqidah, etc., which is called um, Ismatul Anbiya, right? Then we mentioned yesterday, everything is okay now. I see the people not coming on. We mentioned something interesting yesterday also, that Sheikh Abu Bakr ibn Arabi, he mentioned some important principle with regards to what outwardly seem to be the mistakes of the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wa taslim. How do we approach it when we're reading the text, etc., and we come across some text that suggests that the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wa taslim has made a mistake. How do we approach it? How do we understand it? Because we know, we said that the Anbiya, they are free from major mistakes, right? Because they've been sent for the guidance of mankind. They have been sent for the guidance of mankind. So how can they themselves engage in major mistakes? Right? They have been sent for the guidance of mankind. So how can they themselves engage in major mistakes? So we explained this in detail yesterday. Hasanatul Abrar, Sayyatul Muqarrabin. That because of the, in simple words, because of the close relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if they committed a act which is khilaf awla. Khilaf awla doesn't mean like outside haram. Something is inappropriate, they would get a stern rebuke. So when you get those stern rebukes in the Quran, in the Hadith, whatever, it doesn't mean they committed an open sin. It rather means that because of their close relationship with Allah Ta'ala, they're getting a stern rebuke. So yeah, I was telling you, Shaykh Abu Bakr ibn Arabi, he mentions a very, very important principle. He says, قال Abu Bakr al-Arabi في أحكام القرآن واضعا أساسا, placing important principle لأدب الأنبياء, for the respect of the Anbiya, وقائدة غريبة, and he mentions a unique law or unique principle. يقول لا يجوز لأحدنا أن يخبر بذلك عن آدم إلا إذا ذكرناه في أثناء قوله تعالى. Like the verse where Adam alayhi salam, he ate from the tree that he's not supposed to eat in Jannah. So he's saying that this stuff, we shouldn't unnecessarily mention it. You won't go and speak about Adam alayhi salam ate from the tree and he's not supposed to eat from the tree. What he said, don't do that. Don't do that. أو قول نبيه فإما أن يبتدئ ذلك من قبل نفسه فليس بجائز لنا. To speak about it unnecessarily is not permissible. بجائزة ففي آبائنا الأدنين إلينا المماثلين لنا فكيف في آبائنا الأقدم الأعظم الأكرم النبي الأقدم الذي أذر الله سبحانه وتاب عليهم. So to speak unnecessary about their mistakes, it is not permissible. Yes, if you are discussing the verse in the Quran, if you are discussing the verse in the Quran, or you're discussing like how we discuss here in the Hadith, then to explain it in the appropriate manner, that is fine. But to unnecessarily speak about the mistakes, I read it again, I read it to you. Here, لا يجوز لأحد أن يخبر بذلك عن آدم إلا إذا ذكرنا في أثناء قوله تعالى أو قول النبي. Yes, while you are discussing the verse, while you are discussing uh, the hadith, then you'll explain it in an appropriate manner. But to unnecessarily go and speak that Adam alayhi salam disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we know it is not permissible. This is here. La yajuzu. So I was telling you that yesterday I was also mentioning, two of you were not there, that's why I'm repeating, mentioning for you. Now, we get certain people, they want to make points and they're using the faults of the Anbiya to score their points. There's one example. When Musa alayhi salam was called to the Mount Tur, Allah Ta'ala want to speak to him. So this particular alim from Dawat and Tabligh, he wants to make a point. They say, see, because Musa alayhi salam, he left his people and he went in occultation to speak to Allah Ta'ala. He neglected Dawat for several days. That is the reason why his people began worshipping what? The calf. So he's attributing the worship of the calf to Musa alayhi's absence when Allah Ta'ala called him there. Right? I gave you another, this is one example. Another example, he says, after Nabi Sallallahu passed away, the Sahaba Ikram, they neglected Dawat and Tabligh. They were more concerned with his successor, who's going to be successor. And as a result of them neglecting Dawat and Tabligh, many of the people around Medina became murtad. Speaking about the tribes around there, which eventually as Abu Bakr brought them to book. Right? So, in other words, he's attributing the shirk and the irtidad to the action of Musa alayhi salam, and he's attributing the shirk and the irtidad of the tribes around Medina to the Sahaba Ikram not paying attention to dawah and being more concerned with the successor, who the successor of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be. Now, obviously, that is highly disrespectful. There is a seed again. لا يجوز لأحد اليوم أن يخبر بذلك. We're not even supposed to speak about this, let alone try to make points or to make capital or to emphasize the importance of da'wat and tabligh, whatever, by mentioning the weakness of the There are many other examples. I just gave you two. لا يجوز أحد أن يخبر بذلك عن آدم إلا إذا ذكرنا في أثناء قوله تعالى. Yes, when you are discussing the verse or you're discussing the hadith about it, now you mention it, now you explain it like how we're explaining it. This was not a lie. This was not an open contradiction. It was act. We say that when we are not, when you make a mistake, what do? You make some plausible explanation for them without making them bad. But it's not permissible for you to speak bad about your own parents. How can you try to speak bad about the Anbiya and try to make the points about Dawat and Tabligh and say because Musa alayhi salam had neglected Dawat and Tabligh, that is why his people went astray and all that type of thing. And if you neglect Dawat and Tabligh today, you're also going to be astray. See there. So you say, so he says, فإما أن يبتدئ ذلك من قبل نفسه, to speak unnecessarily without any valid reason about the weaknesses of the Anbiya, فليس بجائز لنا. It's not permissible for us في آباء الأدنين إلينا, with regards to our direct parents, right? المماثلين لنا. فكيف في آباء الأقدم الأعظم? Then how can you do that with regards to your distant blessed father النبي الأقدم الذي أنذر الله سبحانه وتعالى, the one Allah Ta'ala is already forgiven for him? So you don't speak about these things. You don't try to make capital out of it. You don't try to make points of dawat in tabligh and try to make your bayans fancy and try to impress people with funny things at the expense of the Sahaba Ikram and at the expense of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wa taslim. This is why our ulama came out in open rejection against this type of rhetoric. They came out in open rejection and they distanced people that make this type of statements, that making capital try to make the Sahaba Ikram bad, make the Anbiya speaking about the weakness of the Anbiya itself, the Taslim, and trying to score points or making interesting bayans and coming with unique stories at the expense of the Sahaba Ikram. Anyway, the relevance of that was because here I told you we were discussing that each Nabiya will make an excuse. Look, I'm not your man. I'm not the one that can help you today. I can't help you today because I got my own problems. And all of this, although the Nabi himself will explain this as like an open violation, but in fact, it's not an open violation. We gave you the explanation of it yesterday, right? Okay, continue where we stopped. Continue reading from where we stopped. Lukman, where we stopped yesterday. Read. We never finished the translating the hadith, I remember. Finish translating the hadith. We translated the whole hadith. Sure. Okay, I think we translated. Okay, let's look at the explanation. There's some random things there. So, when the people come to the Anbiya alayhi salatu wa taslim, and they will say, look, you, Anta Adam, Abul Insi, Ishfa' lana, you say, Lastu hunakum. Lastu hunakum, which basically means, I am distant from the place of shafa'at. I'm not worthy for the shafa'at. You think I am of this people, or you think I am worthy of this, but I'm not your man here. I don't have this position. I don't have this power. Then the next discussion here that the authors brought is that according to here in the hadith, um, he makes reference to anta awwalu nabiyyin. When he comes to Nuh alayhi salam, see there, before that. So he says, Walak, so who mentions Adam alayhi salam says, Walakin atu Nuhan awwala nabiyyin. Whose words is that? Adam alayhi salam's words, ne? So Adam said, go to the first prophet. But we know for a fact that many prophets passed before Nuh alayhi salam. And I told you yesterday, we the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we believe that Adam alayhi salam himself was a prophet. Ismail will remember we done this in Aqidatul Tahawiyah, and we even mentioned a hadith where Nabi Sallam clearly says that your father Adam alayhi salam was a prophet. So what does this mean here then? Nuh alayhi salam was the first prophet. I told you there's a word called Ulul Azm, the great prophets. There are five. Who are they? Musa, Isa alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Nuh alayhi salam, and Nabi Sallam. That's the five great prophets. So one explanation is when he said no, go to Nuh alayhi salam, he meant go to the first of the Ulul Azam, the first of the great five prophets, not of mutlaq prophets. You understand what I'm saying? Because he was the first of the Ulul Azam prophets. Allah Ta'ala speaks about it in the Quran as well. Ulul Azam, that word comes in the Quran. And I also mentioned to you this yesterday that the first Nabi that was sent to the non-Muslims was Nuh alayhi salam. Until Nuh alayhi salam, everybody was Muslims, but maybe they were misguided. They never come onto open shirk. They never come onto open kufr. So Nuh alayhi salam was the first Nabi that was sent to kuffar, right? So before Nuh alayhi salam, there was no kufr. That Ibrahim alayhi salam excused himself on account of his salat kadhibatin, three in Arabic, and also there's a word called tawriyah. Tawriyah means you don't speak an open lie. You don't speak an open lie, but you say something and you intend something, and the person gets another impression. Mala Qasim Nanotwi, just on this point here, he was the founder of Darul Uloom Deoband, and they, when the British occupied India, and they fought against the British. At one stage, the British wanted to arrest him. So the British heard about Qasim Nanotwi. He's a great alim, and he's a ustad of so many students. He's such a great person. So they thought he's gonna be like a person with like a big maybe turban, and you get ajkan, that like that long jackets and all that type of thing. So they went because he was such a great person, he was so revered, so respected, so many people went to him. So one day they went to look for him, And the police officer came and said, "We're looking for Qasim Nanofi." But he was a great alim today. He was a founder of Darul Uloom Deoband, our whole manhaj, which goes back to him, our whole style, everything, how we approach the hadith, everything goes back to them. So he was a simple person, the lungi and the simple kurta. So the police officer came and said, "We're looking for Qasim Nanofi. Where is he?" So what he done is he moved 5 steps and he says, and he points, he says, "He was a little while ago here. Little while, but he's not there anymore." You understood? He was a little while ago here, but he's not here anymore. But he was of him. So that was your tawriya. Tawriya, you say something, you intend one thing, but the listener understands something else. You understood? It's called, you do this also, you do it inshallah in balagha. You're doing balagha stuff. You do it in balagha. So one is, he was such a simple person. He looked maybe like the cleaner. He looked like the cleaner of the masjid, or he looked like the, how we say, the bangi staff, like the muazzin or whatever. But he was such a great alim. So they never expected to be him. They never expected to be him. And then when he said he was a while year ago, he said, anyway, so that is Tawriya, where you give. So here, we don't say Ibrahim alayhi salam spoke 3 open lies. Because I told you, it doesn't fit in our paradigm. It doesn't fit in our prism. That how can a Nabi speak an open lie? And yesterday I mentioned, what was the 3 things? The one was this year. That day they had, the people, his qawm, they had their festival, right? And they were having their festival, and he never go. He said, "Inni saqim, I'm not well." So he meant, "Yeah, I'm not spiritually well, because how can I can't stomach all the shirk of you people of the right." In other words, "Bal fa'alahu kabirum hadha." And the third one, which he said to his wife Sarah, "Hazihi ukhti." This is my sister. And he meant, this is my sister in Islam, right? He didn't mean she's his biological sister. Isa will even say, "Lastu hunakum." I'm not your man here. I can't do that. I'm not worthy of this position. Why Isa, he said, "Look here, you still shy." There's no people said, "I'm the son of Allah Ta'ala." People said, "I'm God." Although there was no crime on his behalf, but still he was still shy that how can I, that what does people done here? That the people, imagine people equated me with Allah Ta'ala. How can I stand such a terrible, such a, was it a verse? Uh, well, I said, Allah Ta'ala debunks this here. How can they say that Allah Ta'ala got the son? Was it? It's a verse that, so you feel shy to say it in front of Allah Ta'ala. And then they will go to, he will say, go to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who is, if you look at it, his past and his present sin has been forgiven. I told you, we don't believe that Anbiya have sins, but what it means is that he's already guaranteed Jannat. Ma'moonul aqibah, that's what it means. So, غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه وما تأخر منه ومأمون العاقبة. His, his end result is already guaranteed. So he got nothing to answer for, right? But you had to li haddan means that a number will be fixed for me. That is Allah Ta'ala, Nabi Sallallahu is saying that it will be fixed. I can remove, I can extricate from Jahannam X amount of people, right? So here it says, maybe like it will be said, all those people who fornicated in their life, you can make shafa'at for them, and so forth and so. Then the last, habasahul Quran, that the Quran has kept them back. What it means is, the Quran is said, look here, inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. So those people who are not allowed to come out of the fire of Jahannam, because the Quran is promised that they will remain forever in the fire of Jahannam. That is habasahul Quranu. So they obviously they won't come out. So I was telling you yesterday that, remember, Shafa'at Kubra refers to interceding, that the shafa'at must start, or rather the hisab must start. And shafa'at is sughra refer to extricating people from the fire of Jahannam. So if you follow the hadith nicely, the whole first part, people will come to different Anbiya and they will plead to them that they must intercede that the shafa'at kubra starts, right? But then the hadith jumps and speaks about shafa'at sughra. So it could be very well that the hadith is silent with regards to Shafa'ati Kubra. That Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will intercede to Allah Ta'ala, Ya Allah Ta'ala, start the intercession. And after that starts now, once the people are destined or those that are destined to go to the five Jannam, now you will make Shafa'at. So the hadith is just silent on that portion. The hadith is silent on that portion. You understood that? Okay, read the next hadith is also very similar, more or less the same meaning. We read last time. Well, you read, okay. Genau. So just before we carry on, I was telling you, this is these hadiths are so nice. You can give a whole bayan upon this hadith about, when you speak about Sirat in Rajab, when you speak about Sirat, the Sirat of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what type of concern he had for this ummah. When the other people said, Nafsi, 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 look, I got my own self to worry about, I have to worry about my own mistakes, I have to worry about my own problems. What Nabi was saying, Ummati, Ummati, Ummati. That, Ya Allah, my ummat, Ya Allah, my ummat. So these are beautiful hadith when you speak about, when you want to give the virtue of the road, that person who his concern was not himself, not his family, not his Ahlul Bayt, but he was concerned for me and you, how we can be saved from the fire of Jahannam. Right? So these are beautiful hadith. You can make a note of it, you can use it very effectively in Bayan. And if you employ all the aids which we told you, with what we say, with your expression, hand movement, all that type of thing. Anyway, وأنه قال رسول الله إذا كان يوم القيامة ماج الناس بعضهم في بعض. When it's day of Qiyamah, some of the people, maja yamuju maujun, they will be like jostling, they will be thronging into each other. Yeah, like, so much people, I think they almost go like they pumping, yeah, that's right, pumping into each other. فيأتون آدم, they'll come to Adam, فيقولوا اشفع إلى ربك, can you make shafa'at fast to your Rabb so that we can start the hisab kitab. فيقولوا لست لها, I'm not for that position. ولكن عليكم بإبراهيم, go to Ibrahim, فإنه خليل الرحمن, he is the friend of Rahman. فيأتون إبراهيم فيقولوا لست لها, I'm not in their position. ولكن عليكم بموسى, go to Musa, فإنه كليم الله, he is the one who Allah Ta'ala spoke to him. فيأتون موسى فيقول لست لها, I'm not that person. ولكن عليكم بعيسى, go to Isa, فإنه روح الله, he is the ruh of Allah Ta'ala. What it means that ألقاها إلى مريم, that he was not born to a biological father, but Allah Ta'ala, Jibreel blew his ruh directly into him, right? That's what it means. This mustn't be misunderstood to say that he's like the son of Allah Ta'ala. Like how you say, Banal Amiru Baitan, or Banal Amiru Badilatan, the Amir built the city. Doesn't mean the Amir came and he physically built the city. He got his people too. So Allah Ta'ala put his ruh, the ruh of Isa alayhi salam, into Maryam alayhi salam via Jibreel, right? That's why it's right. It's called Ruhullah, right? وكلمة فيأتون عيسى فيقول لست لها, I'm not that man. ولكن عليكم بمحمد, go to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He is the one that will help you here today. فيأتوني, they will come to me. فيقول فأنا لها, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say, yes, yes, I'm the man. I will be able to do it inshallah, because he's already been told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he will be able to do it. So he said, أنا لها. Right, so he says, فَأَسْتَأْذِنُ عَلَىٰ رَبِّي, I will seek permission for audience with Allah Ta'ala. I told you, it doesn't mean to go into the presence of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala is free from space and time. فيؤذن لي, it will be permitted for me, ويلهمني محامد أحمده بها لا تحضرني الآن. Then ويلهمني, he will ألهم يلهم ilham, he will inspire me. Mahamida jamal of Mahmadun, Mahab Fa'il غير منصرف. He will inspire me with praises. Ahmaduhu, I will praise Allah Ta'ala biha, with such words. لا تحضرني الآن, it does not present me now. I don't know now. I don't know this words now. But that day it will come to my heart. Right? فأحضره فأحمده بتلك المحامد. Then I will praise Allah Ta'ala with those praises. Right? And محامد here, even though it's غير منصرف, because it's alif lam, when غير منصرف alif lam becomes منصرف. Nah. فأحمده بتلك المحامد وأخر له ساجدا, and then I will fall into sajda. فيقال يا محمد, you say, oh Muhammad, ارفع رأسك, raise your head, وقل, speak, تسمع, all مجهول, speak, you will be heard. So this is like, شرط and جزاء, right? مجزوم, right? وسل, ask, تعطى, you'll be given. واشفع, تشفع, and then seek intercession to shafa', your intercession will be accepted. فيقول يا ربي أمتي أمتي. On that day I won't say Ya Allah, save my own skin, or save my family, or save my children. I say Ya Allah, ummati ummati, my ummat my ummat. فيقال انطلق, it will be said, go. فأخرج من كان في قلبه مثقال شعيرة من إيمان. Go and remove who in his heart is the extent of a grain of iman. فأنطلق القوم فأفعل, I'll do that. ثم أعود, so I'll remove a large number of people that are destined to go to the fire of Jahannam. I'll save them from Jahannam. Right? ثم أعود, I'll go return. فأحمده بتلك المحامد, then I will again praise Allah Ta'ala with those praises. ثم أخير له ساجدا, then again I will fall into sajda. فيقال يا محمد, you say Muhammad, ارفع رأسك, raise your head. Right? وقل تسمع, speak, say what you want to say, you will be heard. وسل تعطى, and ask, you will be granted. واشفع تشفع, and seek intercession, your intercession will be accepted. فأقول يا ربي, I'll say, oh my Rabb, أمتي أمتي, مع أمة مع أمة. فيقول انطلق, go. فأخرج من كان في قلبي مثقال ذرة, then it was said, remove who in his heart the extent of a mustard seed, or khardalin, a mustard seed, or an atom of iman. فانطلق, I'll go, فأفعل, I'll do that. ثم أعود, I'll return. فأحمد بتلك المحامد, I will praise him again. ثم أخير له سائر فوج سجة. فيقال يا محمد, محمد, ارفع رأسك, raise your head. وقل تسمع, وصل تعطى, same thing. واشفع تشفع. فيقول يا ربي أمتي أمتي. فيقول انطلق فأخرج من كان في قلبي أدنى 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 مثقال حبة حبة خردل من إيمان. Then remove that person who is the smallest, or the least extent of a seed of a mustard of iman. The least amount of iman even. فأخرجه من النار, I will remove him from the fire. فأنطلق, now go. فأفعل, ثم أعود الرابعة, fourth time I'll come. فأحمده بتلك المحامد, I will praise Allah Ta'ala again with those praises. ثم أخير له ساجدا. فيقال يا محمد, ارفع رأسك وقل تسمع, وسل تعطى, واشفع تشفع. فيقول يا ربي إذن لي في من قال لا إله إلا الله. قال ليس ذلك لك. يا رسول الله, allow me now to intercede for that person who just recited the kalima. He done no good in his heart. He done no good. What? إذن لي في من قال لا إله قال ليس ذلك لك. That is not for you. ولكن وعزتي وجلالي, I take a qasam on my respect, my greatness, my grandeur, وعظمتي, and my magnanimity. لأخرجن منها من قال لا إله إلا الله متفق. I will remove myself personally. I will remove those people who had the least amount of iman. And from other hadiths, these are referred to Uttaqa'ur Rahman. What do they refer to? Uttaqa'ur Rahman. Those people who were saved from the fire by the intercession, not intercession, okay, Allah Ta'ala doesn't have to intercede, by Allah Ta'ala removing them from the fire of Jahannam. So I was telling you that which you remove the people from the fire of Jahannam, or that intercession, that is called Shafa'at Sughra. So after the Shafa'at Kubra is accepted, that the Hisab Kitab starts, and then people will be designated or they will be assigned. Some go to Jahannam, some go to Jannat, etc. That is when now the Shafa'at Sughra will be made. And this word, Ummati, 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 Nabi Sallam will repeat it several times for ta'keed. Okay, so more or less the same thing discussed here. You can read the next one, next hadith. أسعد الناس بشفاعة يوم القيامة من قال لا إله إلا الله خالصا من قلبه أو نفسه رواه البخاري. Right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن أبي هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم narrating authority to Abu Huraira, and he in turn narrates here this from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said, أسعد الناس بشفاعتي, the most fortunate of people, right, with regards to my shafaat on the day of Qiyamah, the person that will be most worthy of my shafaat, من قال لا إله إلا الله خالصا من قلبه أو نفسه رواه البخاري. That person who recites the kalima sincerely from his heart itself. That's what's meant here. It's meant you don't just recite it like it's not your lip service, because obviously if a person just recites the kalima, he just recites the kalima, but he don't really believe in it, then he won't be worthy of going to Jannah. He won't be worthy of getting the shafa'at of Nabi Sallallahu. Here this is making a reference to true iman. It's making a reference to true iman. The person who has true iman in his heart, he is the person that will go to Jannah, and he's the person who will become worthy, will become mustahiq of the shafaat of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Khalisan min qalbihi. I told you it means sincerity of the heart, absolute tawheed. He's the person who become worthy. Read the next hadith, one more hadith. Right. Okay, stop there. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعنه, also from Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu, he said, قال أوتي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بلحم. Once some meat was brought to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فرفع إليه الذراع, and then the front leg was brought to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وكانت تعجبه. عجب يعجب means it used to impress him. He used to like the front leg, not the back leg, the front leg, right? فنهس منه نحسة. He but a piece, a chunk of carry on. He said, ثم قال أنا سيد الناس يوم القيامة. I will be the leader of the people on the day of Qiyamah. So I was telling you, it is a hadith like this that the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah make istidlal from, that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most virtuous human being. There are certain hadiths where Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, like, you know, when he attributed virtue over and above himself to Ibrahim alayhi salam, or certain hadith where he attributed virtue to Yusuf alayhi salam. But if you look at, as you come towards the latter abwab here, you know, you do the abwab of Qiyamah, and you do of the Fazail of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see that the overwhelming hadith, it points to the fact that Nabi Sallam was the most virtuous. And this is the belief of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I told you people before, like what last year, there's a previous year, there was a scholar came from America, Sheikh Sirajul Wahad, and he spoke at a masjid in Durban, in Musgrave. And then he was promoting this, that Ibrahim alayhi salam is the most virtuous of all Anbiya. But this is not the correct belief of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. In fact, in our Ustad, our principal from Madrasa Talimuddin Mufti Ibrahim Salaji, he gave a whole bayan explaining our position, the position of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, that Nabi Sallallahu is the most virtuous human being, and they gave all the proofs. And then I think they also offer some type of retraction for that. But anyway, the main thing is just remember that according to us, Nabi Sallallahu is the most virtuous. Ana Sayyidun Nas Yawm al-Qiyamah. Right? Yawma yaqumu nasu li Rabbil Alamin. On that day, when the people will stand in front of the Rabbul Alameen. Carry on. Yeah. And وَتَدْنُ الشَّمْسُ when the sun will rise. فَيَبْلُغُ النَّاسَ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَالْكَرَبِ مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ. So this مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ is the file, right? You can say it will reach the people. Okay, if you say the file is مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَالْكَرَبِ مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ, from the worry and anxiety, مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ, that which they cannot bear it. يَبْلُغُ النَّاسِ will reach the people. So they will be in absolute anxiety. They will be absolutely stressed out. Right? You understood that? So من الغم والكرب, that is the فاعل. فيقول الناس ألا تنظرون من يشفع لكم إلى ربكم. Can't we look? فيقول الناس ألا, won't you look? They say, well, can't we look out من يشفع لكم, who will intercede for you إلى ربكم, to your Rabb. فيأتون آدم, they will come to Adam alayhi salam. And then وذكر حديث الشفاعة. Then here the Rawi narrated the whole hadith of Shafa, like how it is the whole story. Adam will say, no, I'm not the man, I can't do this. And then they go to Nuh alayhi salam, each one will excuse himself, each one will present his excuse, right? This is saying, right? Um, so he said, فأنطلقوا, right? So Nabi Sallallahu saying, then I will go. فآتي تحت العرش, I'll come to beneath the arsh of Allah. فأقع ساجدا ساجدا لربي, I will fall into sajda for my Rabb. ثم يفتح الله علي مما محامده وحسن ثنائه. Allah Ta'ala will open up for me from the praises and the beautiful benedictions عليه شيئا, that which لم يفتح الله لأحد قبله. Allah Ta'ala did not open up for anybody, or he did not inspire anybody before that. ثم قال يا محمد, said Muhammad, ارفع رأسك, raise your head, سل تعطى, ask you will be granted, واشفع تشفع, seek intercession will be granted to you. فأرفع رأسي, I will raise my head, فأقول أمتي يا ربي أمتي, I say my أمت أو my رب, my أمت يا ربي. فيقول يا محمد أدخل من أمتك من لا حساب عليهم. It will be said, oh Muhammad, you said, oh Muhammad, enter from your ummah whom there is no hisab of them. Min al-Babil Ayman, from the right doors. In other words, those people that they will have no hisab kitab upon them. Enter them. Ya Muhammad, أدخل من أمتك من لا حساب عليهم من باب الأيمن من أبواب الجنة وهم شركاء الناس فيما سواه. And then they will be partners in the other doors. So there will be one door that those people, that they will enter because of the shafa'at of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they will don't have any accountability. An account of them entering from that door, they can even enter from other doors as well. That's what it means. وهم شركاء الناس فيما سوى ذلك من الأبواب. ثم قال والذي نفسي بيده. Then he said, I take a custom by the one whom I saw in his hand. إنما بين مصراعين من مصاري الجنة كما بين مكة وهجرة. That what is between, you say Misrael means like the two door frames. You see the door frame there, the one side and the other side. The distance between the two door frames is like the distance between Makkah and Hajar. Now it's such a huge door that multitudes of people will enter Jannah. Multitudes of people will enter Jannah. Right. So this hadith more or less speaks about the same thing, nothing really new. It's just that Nabi Sallallahu will, he will be the man for Shafa'at Kubra, and also he will be the man for Shafa'at Sughra. I told you, Misra'ain referred to like the two frames, the two parts of the door. Hajar here referred to a town in Bahrain. It's also called Ahsa. So that was from Makkah al Ahsa. That will be the size of the door by which you will go into Jannah. So this is how many people will enter. So this part here I told you, Ya Muhammad adkhil min ummatika man la hisab alayhim min al-bab al-ayman min abwab al-jannah. Enter that people that through your benediction, through your barakah, through your shafaat, they will enter Jannah without any type of hisab. May Allah Ta'ala make us from among them. So we stop there, inshallah. We will continue now with the tafsir.